I've analyzed hundreds of practices since 2017, and nearly every single one of them is losing over 6 figures a year to these 3 leaky buckets. And the biggest leak, the one draining cash from your business right now, isn't what you think. My name is Zack Herman, and I'm the founder of Automated Practice, where we've helped hundreds and hundreds of practices grow. And my journey here started not as a marketer, but as a father when my son's asthma was getting out of control, and it was a chiropractor who helped him stay out of the emergency room. That's when I saw firsthand chiropractic care is truly special. And I found a passion to help chiropractors and other health practices grow so they can focus on helping their neighbors live a healthier life while we handle the rest. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those leaks are, how to plug them yourself, and the exact 5-step system we use to add 15 to 20 plus new patients to a practice every 90 days. All right, let's get into it. The first and most obvious leaky bucket is probably what you guessed: new patients. By the end of this, you'll know more about patient acquisition than 99% of marketers. And that's not hype, because the truth is most agencies don't build actual systems. They sell hope marketing. I'm about to show you the proven 5-step method that we use to add consistent patients to practices like clockwork. Watch closely, because this might be the single most valuable thing you watch all year. This is your patient acquisition system, or for a lot of practices, the lack of one. Here's the 5-step system that you, your marketing person, or your agency should be implementing and monitoring. Step number 1, the ad. A picture of a spine isn't an ad, it's a postcard to nowhere. If you're still running generic back pain ads with stock photos and no story, you're the marketing. You're not marketing, you're hoping. And again, hope isn't a strategy. In step 1, I'll show you how to turn that boring post into a scroll-stopping, pain point-driven message that actually gets patients to click. This isn't just a picture of a spine, it's a message. It needs a hook that stops the scroll, a story that connects with a specific pain point, and a clear call to action. So the first and most important thing is that first sentence in your ad copy, or if you're filming a video, this is the first thing that you say in the video. The number one thing you need to do is you need to call out your audience. And there's 2 main reasons that you're going to do this. One is rather obvious. It's so the viewer knows that it's for them. But number 2 is very important, because this is how the ads are working, or the algorithm for paid social content. And so platforms like Meta, Facebook, Instagram, they're not relying on targeting anymore. They are relying purely on content. So they're looking at your content, they're looking at your video and your ad copy, and that's how the targeting is done nowadays. Imagine the difference between we help foot pain versus attention moms dealing with neuropathy who are tired of feeling like walking on needles. In this example, we're assuming that this is a practice that treats neuropathy. You can imagine that those moms who are dealing with neuropathy are much more likely to click on the ad that's really feeling like this was written directly to them. So you want to feel like you're talking directly to your perfect patient. So after you've addressed the hook, or that opening line, you then want to address the 4 P's, and that is pain, promise, proof, and path. So starting with pain, we started to address that in that first hook example that I shared with you. You really want to describe the pain just as your patient would describe it. So you don't want to use a bunch of fancy terms and a lot of things they can't understand. You want to basically mirror and mimic the things that you're hearing inside your practice and talk about those pains in the ad. And then hitting on promise, this is where you can talk about the services or devices that you have in your practice that can truly help them with this pain. Then you want to jump into the proof. This is where you can showcase some of those case studies or testimonials from, patients that are dealing with the same thing that they're dealing with. And path is really just the call to action, but call to action doesn't start with P, so we're using path. And that's what the patient is going to click to take the next steps. What's the path to coming into seeing you, or, signing up for that new patient offer? All right, we've got the framework of the ads, but now when they click the ad, we need to take them to the landing page, and that is step 2. Your logo is killing your conversions, and here's why. You're proud of your brand, but the truth is your logo isn't Nike, and it's probably the first thing they see when they don't convert. In step 2, I'll break down exactly what makes a landing page convert, especially for mobile, and the tiny tweaks that can cut your cost per lead in half overnight. The ad's only job is to get the click. The landing page's job is to convert that click into a lead. It must be congruent with the ad, load instantly, and make it incredibly simple for a potential patient to give you their information. Here are some must-haves for landing pages. Mobile first. The vast majority of your traffic is going to be from mobile. In fact, in recent studies, it's shown that over 95% of traffic is mobile. When you design mobile first, you're beating the competition who always crafts utilizing their desktop. So they're doing desktop first, and they're neglecting where the majority of their traffic is coming from. Secondly, which I hinted at, remove your logo. Unless you're Apple or Nike, no one knows your logo, and it doesn't help convert the patient. The first thing people see is called above the fold, meaning what they see before they scroll. This part of your landing page is insanely valuable. Each piece of that area should be carefully crafted, and something like your logo is taking up too much space. You might have heard of the acronym KISS, or Keep It Simple, S-word. This doesn't need to be information overload. You also don't ever want to link anything that will take them away from the page. Keep it simple, reiterate the offer and how it benefits them. The only goal is to get their contact information and go to the next step. Only create friction if necessary. So like more questions, a video first, etc. Step 3, the thank you page. They clicked, they converted, and then you lost them. Most practices and agencies waste the most valuable moment in the entire patient journey right after someone opts in. In this step, I'll show you how we turn that thank you page into a silent closer, getting new leads to book while they're still hot. This is the most wasted space of real estate in marketing. Don't just say thanks. Immediately prompt them to grab an appointment. This is at the time they're interested, so don't ruin this moment. Make sure you embed your calendar right on that page. Continue to implement some of the same strategies we learned on the landing page with the sensitive real estate. So if you have a video before the calendar, it better be because you're solving for something like quality. Step 4, the immediate follow-up. You have 5 minutes to win the lead or you'll lose them forever. Most practices wait hours, even days to follow up. By then the lead's gone cold, booked somewhere else, or just plain ghosted you. In this step, I'll reveal the exact automation we use to instantly follow up with every lead and why that one tweak can double your show up rate. The moment that a lead comes in, a clock starts ticking. Every minute you wait, their interest cools. An automated text and email must go out instantly to welcome them and guide them to book their appointment. Even better, a call. Even if they book an appointment, call to confirm, gather more information about their pain points, understand it, and get them excited to show up. Just because they scheduled does not mean they're going to show. Convincing them still needs to happen. Step 5, the nurture sequence. Most messages sound like they were written by robots, and the patients can tell. Nobody likes spammy automated text that scream template. They don't feel human, and they definitely do not convert. In this step, I'll show you how to build a nurture sequence that sounds like it came from you, and why that natural tone turns missed appointments into loyal patients. Look, life gets in the way. If they don't book right away, a sequence of messages, not annoying, but helpful, should follow up over the next few days to encourage that booking. We like to do a random mix of timings to make it feel more natural, to hit them at different times of the day. We don't want it to sound too robotic, sound like you're actually following up with them as you would a casual and manual follow-up. So a tip is you could probably just look at some of the messages that you're sending out as an automated message and use those in your actual automated sequence. Now, here's the proactive part that 99% of agencies miss. You don't just set it and forget it. You have to watch the numbers. Let's break down some of the metrics that you or your agency should be looking at and what those mean. The 3 basic ones you'll want to know: click-through rate, cost per lead, and booking percentage. You need to know your click-through rate. If it's low, that means your ad is not compelling enough. You also want to look at your cost per lead. If it's too high, then your landing page is not converting. And lastly, you must track your lead to booking percentage. If people aren't booking, your follow-up is broken. You don't want to find a partner that waits for you to call them when the leads dry up. They need to be looking at these numbers proactively. This is the system. You can build it yourself or you can use ours. This entire 5-step acquisition machine is the core of our automated practice program. We build it, we manage it, and we proactively optimize it for you. The second leaky bucket, show up rate. Most practices think the hard part is getting the patients booked. It's not. It's actually getting them to show up. You're celebrating new appointments, but here's the truth. A name on your schedule doesn't pay your bills. And every time someone ghosts their appointment, you're not just losing that initial appointment fee, you could be losing $5,000 in lifetime value. That's why we built the Show Up Stack. It's a simple but ruthless system to plug the second biggest leak in your business. Okay, so you've got the booking, but that doesn't mean a new patient in your office. The second leaky bucket is the gap between the appointment booked and the patient showing up. This is where practices lose a fortune. A 25% no-show rate isn't just lost revenue for that day, it's the lost lifetime value of that patient. And to certain practice owners, that's anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 or even way more than that for each no-show. Plugging this leak requires the Show Up Stack. This is a series of systems that are added one after the other, but added if needed. Let me explain. The dumbest sounding text we send is also the one that saves the most appointments. We literally tell patients, type white to confirm. That's it. And it works like crazy. Why? Because it forces a micro commitment that filters out flakes and confirms they're alive, engaged, and paying attention. In phase 1 of the show up stack, I'll show you how this useless sounding tweak can lift your show up rate immediately and cost you nothing. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start with the simple text and appointment reminders. I'll go over cadence and tips in a bit, but that's not all. Simply add in type Y to confirm in your messages. Although it may sound pointless, it actually helps make sure that this person has a heartbeat and can do a simple thing to confirm their appointment. If they don't confirm any of the text or emails, you should warn them that their appointment may get canceled for another patient as spaces are limited. The data that we have on all the practices we help show that individuals who don't reply to that text rarely ever show. So it's up to you if you'd actually like to cancel that appointment. If you're still facing a high no-show rate, we're going to move on to phase 2. Most no-shows don't cancel. They quietly disappear unless you do this first. There's something about a real voice, a genuine conversation, and a little empathy that changes everything. Even if they've confirmed by text, calling them changes the game. In phase 2, I'll show you why adding one phone call, even a short one, can double your show up rate and help you filter out bad fits before they waste your time. This is simply adding in a phone call regardless of the confirmation that we had in the previous system. Having a phone call is imperative for the lead to be excited about their appointment. Understand what they're dealing with that encourages them to sign up, empathize with their issues, and assure them that you're the solution. Many of our clients do a little bit of filtering during this call by seeing if they can make it to the practice consistently, aka if they live too far, if they're financially qualified, or even if they're a candidate for the treatment. Now, if we're still seeing a good amount of appointments, but still facing a no-show issue, even after calling and confirming all appointments, let's move on to phase 3. If they won't pay a small deposit, they were never serious in the first place. Look, no one wants to talk about prepayment. It feels uncomfortable, but here's the reality. When people pay, they pay attention. In phase 3, I'll break down how we use a prepayment system that's casual, confident, and automated, and why it's the ultimate flake filter for high value appointments. Okay, so we've got our auto confirmation system and we're calling the leads, but still facing a no-show issue. It's time to implement prepayment. We have an automated prepayment system that we offer to our clients. I highly recommend doing the prepayment request over the phone after you've gotten them excited. Simply tell them casually and with confidence that due to limited spots, we require a prepayment to hold and confirm your appointment slot. Now, if they don't have their payment information or maybe they're not comfortable over the phone, we utilize our automated practice prepayment follow-up system that sends them a link to pay online, and then it also follows up with them to remind them that that payment is still due to secure their appointment. This is definitely something that you can do on your own. Just make sure you have a list of all the patients that haven't prepaid and just continue to follow up with them to make sure that they do that to secure their appointment. Here's a couple of tips and pointers to help really hone in a lot of those messages that you'll be sending out. The easiest way to reduce no-shows: show them your face before you ever walk in. Add in videos to your confirmation reminders. A tour of your office makes it more personable, and testimonials before and afters work wonders. As for cadence, send an immediate text and email confirmation. Then if it's over 2 days booked out, you want to send another confirmation 48 hours before, then want to send another appointment reminder 24 hours before, so it's the day before. And then a 2-hour reminder, because that's ample time for them to be able to finish up whatever they're doing and get to your practice. Lastly, a good 30-minute or so kind of see you soon text is great. You can mix up the text and the emails on these iterations. Only really hit them with like text and email at the same time when you're doing the confirmation. So you also want to utilize the same strategy with making the text reminders feel more casual. You're chasing strangers when the easiest money is right under your nose. This last leaky bucket is the most ignored and the most profitable part of your business. The third leaky bucket is systems. And most chiropractors spend thousands trying to get a brand new patient in the door while quietly neglecting the patients who already know, like, and trust them. Fixing this leak doesn't just save you money, it prints it. This is where we stop thinking like marketers and start thinking like CEOs. It's not just about traffic, it's about patient lifetime value. So let's talk about the 3 R's of growth: reactivation, referral, and retention. These are the 3 overlooked systems that grow your practice without spending a dime on ads and without adding a single extra hour to your week. Let's break it down. If someone paid you once, they're 10 times likely to pay you again, even if you just said hi. We see this all the time. A patient came in 6, 12, even 18 months ago. They felt better, life got busy, and then they disappeared. But here's the magic. They already trust you. A single friendly message can bring them back, and they usually return fast. We build automated reactivation campaigns that ping past patients with casual, human-sounding texts you're likely sitting on a gold mine of past patients who have paid you money. So why not send them a friendly email and text and let them know of a new offer that you're running, because you want to see them again, and you want to check in and make sure everything's okay. And, maybe they want to come in. It's probably something that they've been considering, and that simple nudge from you will really push them over the edge. Ideally, of course, if they don't respond, you'll want to simply have a follow-up sequence to get them to do so. People are busy, and if they don't want you following up, they'll tell you. The second R is the referral system. Happy patients want to refer you. They just don't know how. Simply asking, do you know anyone that needs help, is not a referral system. It's a hopeful whisper. The truth, your best marketing asset is your happy patient base, but only if you make it easy and worth it for them to share. So in automated practice, we have a referral system that keeps things automated and organized, and, follows up with the current patient and the past patient. There's a handful of different ways that you can do this. You can have a Google form where you ask patients if there's anyone that they'd like to refer, and then you can actually enter that information, and then you'll have a spreadsheet of, who's referring who, and, the contact information, and then you can reach out to them manually. You can do the same, but add in a QR code at your front desk, and that's linked to this Google form, and then the patient themselves can fill that out. Ideally, you want to make it worthwhile for the patient to refer. So you might want to add some incentive in there. And obviously, this varies state to state on what you're able to do. You can offer possibly some complimentary services or maybe a discount on their care plan or their next visit, but incentivizing them really helps. So instead of really stressing over new leads, why not find the patients that are paying you, the happy ones, and get them to refer, and then you have sort of a multiplication effect. And the third and final R on these systems is the retention system. This is something that a lot of agencies or practices even just completely neglect. And that is, you already have the patients coming in, they're already paying you and seeing you, but a lot of times they get busy and they fall off, and either they're doing that during a care plan or at the end of the care plan when you want to get them on a maintenance plan or some sort of monthly program. A lot of times they fall off because they think that they're good. And what you want to convey in these emails is showing them studies and proof on why continually coming back for this service is imperative. So, for example, if you're doing a shockwave treatment, they might be through their 8 sessions where they feel like they're good to go, which mostly they are. Typically, it's good to get them on a monthly maintenance plan. So sending out those emails towards the end of that care plan and letting them know the studies that show that, a monthly treatment is best for them, so they don't start, getting back in pain. And this can work for many, many services: red light, chiropractic, decompression, neuropathy, anything. So make sure that you're letting them know the detriment that could happen if they do not continue to show up. Okay, so now you have the 3 leaks and a clear system and solution to fix those. Even just fixing one will make a drastic difference in your practice. These, of course, are the ads and the systems that we implement into practices every single day. So if you're wanting a proactive marketing partner, feel free to click the link in the description, and we'd love to help. Otherwise, comment below and let me know which of these strategies that you've implemented inside your practice.